Hello, my name's Melissa, a third-year medical student, and today I'm going to be reading High-Yield Biochemistry Facts by Goljan. The rate-limiting reaction in cholesterol synthesis is HMG-CoA reductase. The findings in PKU, the mousy urine odor caused by a missing tyrosine, hence tyrosine must be supplied in the diet, and can be diagnosed by amniocentesis. Treatment is to eliminate phenylalanine from the diet. For example, patients cannot have NutraSweet, which contains aspartame and phenylalanine. Eye cell disease is the inability to phosphorylate the mannose residues of potential lysosomal enzymes. Hence, they cannot be taken up by the lysosome to degrade complex substrates. The number of glucoses necessary to build palmitic acid, which is a 16-carbon compound, are 4 glucoses. Each glucose run producing 2 acetyl-CoA, the latter containing 2 carbons each. A lack of insulin in diabetic ketoacidosis causes a decrease in glycolysis, glycogenesis, fatty acid synthesis, and a decrease in the storage of fat and adipose. Uncoupling agents like alcohol and salicylates produce brown fat from increased heat from reactions trying to increase the generation of more protons to make ATP. Von Goerk's disease is caused by a decrease in glucose 6-phosphatase, which is a gluconeogenic enzyme. This decrease in glucose causes fasting hypoglycemia, the increase in glucose 6-phosphate production of normal glycogen in the liver and kidneys. Diagnosis of von Goerk's disease: B with stimulation tests with glucagon, fructose, etc., and this cannot increase the glucose levels owing to the missing enzyme. The biochemical processes in both the cytosol and mitochondria are the urea cycle, heme synthesis, and gluconeogenesis. Females with pheochromocytoma should decrease their dietary intake of phenylalanine and tyrosine. A pregnant female with PKU should have a diet low in phenylalanine but high in tyrosine, and should avoid NutraSweet, which contains aspartate and phenylalanine. Patient with Lesch-Nyhan syndrome presents with self-mutilation, hyperuricemia, mental retardation. This is caused by an absent HGPRT. Glucokinase is only present in the liver. It has a high VM and a high KM, is not inhibited by glucose 6-phosphate. Hexokinase is present in all tissues and is inhibited by glucose 6-phosphate, has a low Km and a low Vm. Maple syrup urine disease is caused by a disorder in branched chain amino acids like valine, leucine, and isoleucine. The key enzyme in gluconeogenesis is fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase, which catalyzes the conversion of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphatase is located in the kidney, liver, and intestinal epithelium. It is absent in von Goerk's disease. Know the shuttles and what they carry, such as carnitine, which carries even-chain fatty acids, and malate, which carries NADH. The functions of LDL include the synthesis of vitamin D, other steroids, cell membranes, bile salts, and bile acids. Know the number of times acetyl-CoA is used in fatty acid synthesis, ketone body synthesis, and CH synthesis. There's a Lineweaver-Burke plots of competitive versus non-competitive inhibitors. Know the lengths of the fatty acids and their number of energy produced. The urea cycle is a method of eliminating ammonia. A patient with only small branched-chain amino acids has debrancher deficiency. Know the origin of the apolipoproteins. Apolipoprotein 100 is found in the liver. while apolipoprotein 48 is in the intestine. The rate-limiting step of glycogenolysis is glycogen phosphorylase. Know that the liver cannot use ketones for fuel because the liver cannot activate acetoacetate in the mitochondria, which requires succinyl-CoA and acetoacetate-CoA transferase in order to convert acetylacetate into acetyl-CoA. McArdle's disease is caused by an absence of muscle phosphorylase. This causes increased glycogen in the muscle. The patient does not have an increase in lactic acid after exercise. Know what supplements a pregnant woman who drinks beer requires. This patient will require folate because alcohol increases the loss of folate in urine and stool, which offsets the amount of folate present in beer. Furthermore, the patient should probably be taken off beer because of fetal alcohol syndrome and would only need folate. Iron is not affected by beer drinking. Know that insulin is the key hormone of the fed state, while glucagon is the key hormone of the fasting state. Mannose-6-phosphate is involved in the transfer of dolicholipids in the rough endoplasmic reticulum for the synthesis of O-linked glycosides. Make sure to know all of the lysosomal storage diseases, including Fabry's and Hunter syndrome. Know all the reactions involving NAD and NADH, as well as NADP and NADPH. The major source of NADPH is the HMP shunt, as well as the malate dehydrogenase reaction to a lesser extent. NADPH supplies reducing equivalents. Know which amino acid sequence mutation would have the greatest effect on the migration in serum protein electrophoresis. It would be one with the most negative charges, which is also the most acidic, which is glutamine. The amino acid that would remain closest to the anode, the negative pole, is the most basic amino acid, which is arginine. The mechanism of ketoacidosis and diabetic ketoacidosis is increased beta oxidation of fatty acids and production of acetyl-CoA, which is used by the liver to synthesize ketone bodies. Know that in linear gene drawings, the promoter location is the most upstream. Know the energy source for protein synthesis, which is GTP. The isozyme with 2 genes and 4 subunits is LDH. There are 5 isozymes. Know the second messengers, which are atrial natriuretic peptide, cGMP, insulin, tyrosine kinase, nicotinic channels, ion channels. The best method for detecting relatedness of new bacteria is restriction fragment length polymorphism. Thanks, Goljan!